Nothing.
Oh, Doctor, I'm sorry.
No. Be of good cheer. If science teaches us anything, it teaches us to accept our failures as well as our successes with quiet dignity and grace. Son of a bitch bastard, I'll get you for this! What did you do to me? What did you do to me?
Doctor, stop it! You kill him!
I don't want to live! I do not want to live!
Quiet dignity and grace.
Oh, Mama!
Oh, hello! My name is Quinlan, and I'm going to talk about actions and reactions.
As well as our successes.
Oh! Tonight is a little thing called action and reaction. As I said, my name is Chris Quinlan. Hope you're learning something. Have your drumsticks ready? Pencil and paper. I'm bending the language. What I like to do tonight is carry on with what I've been doing over the last couple of weeks. But the unseen bit, what I mean by action and reaction is that for every action you do, there is a reaction. There's a pushback or something like that. But on drums, you make space for yourself. And that's what I'm going to be talking about a little bit tonight, you see. So what goes on is that when you're learning the craft of drums, doesn't matter whether you've got a big ass Doris type drum kit here or a little 4-piece, whatever it is. I don't take this out when I'm gigging. I take Delilah in the other room. You haven't seen it for a little while. A little 5-piece, and sometimes I just take out 4-piece. Away you go. Remembrance Day on 11th of November, I used to get pretty busy. We all did, and that was just one snare drum, and there you go, and lots of press rolls and things. So what happens is you go with what you got, right? So what happens now, what I'm going to start talking about, is how when you have an action, you work out a movement as a reaction. So over the last couple of weeks, I've been talking about getting around the drums and stuff, and one of them, I'll talk about just a couple, but it's not the crux of the lesson. I've got a few extras as well. But one of the things that I did was diagonal. Oh, by the way, I've got some Asian sounds here. African, sorry. Sounds like triplets. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Right, now, what goes on is that little thing. It's a 6-note phrase. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come back up. 5, 6. Now, did you pick it? There's the action. But did you pick the reaction? What it is that when I go down, as soon as I'm down here, do you notice that if I'm playing it normally, notice that the right hand is a barrier to the left getting to the floor tom. So, a little flick. I'm just out, you see? Just a little movement. That's what I'm talking about, just the little things. See? Like that. So it's a big difference between that and just a flick of the wrist. You see? Get it? Good. So what goes on with that is that then you have the horizontal, which I talk about. So if I'm doing this and go to double strokes, get it? Might take them out for a little while, maybe a long while, see how we go. I was mucking around with them this afternoon, but might be a bit of a put-off. Man's guts to know his limitations. So what happens? How about if I just do a double with the right hand? Left hand. Both. I had to teach that to a student the other day. Don't you know? What do you mean? Shave and a haircut, 2 bits? No? Okay. There it is. They learned something new. Little poppets. That's a diagonal. Now, for those of you with the 4-piece kit, here's a little thing for you. Cut your rack tom in half. And then what happens there is that you could do the same, but probably just needs a little bit more of the angle there. Just a great little exercise. Diagonals, you see, you're getting that. Wax on, wax off. Karate Kid. I've done that one before. There you go. Now, one of the great ones is the good old crossover. Everyone loves a good crossover. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Now, what happens there? Pardon me? Course, and then you do lots of oh, well, all that business. But there's another little thing too with a crossover like that. I first sort of saw this with Buddy Rich years and, let's get honest, decades and decades ago. There you go. But what happens is that you've got your typical crossover, right? So you've got your, like I said, nice and flashy. Ooh. There you go. Hello, ladies. I'm sorry. So what goes on? But there's another one. It's a Buddy Rich one. Now what goes on there is that there's that. You're crossing over, left hand over the right. But look what happens. Action, reaction. So what happens is if I'm going to do that, notice that my right hand tucks in. Thank you, Mr. Rich. Do it slow. Out, in, out. I'm talking about the right hand. Out, in, out, in, out, in. And what's going on here is that the main thing I'm doing is I'm splitting a single stroke roll in between 2 drums, right? Just, I'm thinking a 4-piece in amongst this huge ass piece. So you got that. And then what I'm doing there is basically calypso. Known by many names, calypso is the safest one at the moment. So there you go. So it's got that kind of... So what's happening is you've got a line between the floor tom and your snare drum there, and a triangle. Okay, with your left hand. Out. Out. Get it? There you go. You see, that's what happens. Now, thank you, Mr. Buddy Rich, for that. You'll see it on some of his things. You'll be singing and going. Oi! There you go, roughly. And that's what you have, you see. So that's a crossover. And you've got your two, you know, you've got the over and under, like that. And that's the usual one. And then what starts to happen is that you can have that. And what's happening is the accents of the calypso are all happening on the floor tom. That's the exercise there. Okay, now, crashes. We all love a good crash. And what happens is that so often, especially with electronic drum kits, you get two cymbal pads. So, and the default is the left side is the crash and the right side is the ride. And if you hit it a little bit harder, the threshold goes up to a bell sound and all that. So I'm forever telling the kids, you know, find the threshold. You know, underneath will be the ride area. And as soon as you go above a little bit, depending on the patch and the sound and the brand and all that, all of a sudden you're going to go, ka-ching, bell, you know. So often when I'm teaching online, you'll be hearing a ride, like just a general rock beat, like basic as. Okay, what's going on over there? And what it is they're right on the threshold, and because they're learning it, you're trying to keep the consistency. If you're going to be, you know, keep it to 4 on a volume, or 5 or whatever, then at some point it becomes that, but then it's in between and that kind of stuff. So I'm saying just play softer. Sakata. Saka. What's that all that? Anyway, I'm not sure. Boop, beep, boop, boop. Anyway, moving right along. So that's what goes on there. Now, when you go to do a fill-in, you don't really want to end up in a straitjacket kind of pose, if you know what I mean. So the first thing I sort of recommend, get an extra cymbal pad over here, but, you know, 2 crashes, 1 on each side. And then you work out the movement. Okay, so put it this way. When you're just doing a basic rock beat, sure. But when you go, nah, right side. And one of the reasons, over there I've got my beloved Formula 602 22-inch dark ride. Many people covet that cymbal, I do love it dearly. It's a 22, but over here I've got a 20. And there's a reason for that in a lot of ways when I got this particular cymbal, in the sense that it's got a duality. Okay, you can crash it, so you can have that. On the brain. So that's what goes on, you see. So get a right side cymbal. I've got 3 crashes over here, but the reason being is because I go tonal. Very close to 3 blind mice. There you go, roughly, sort of thing. One Terry Bozzio has the wraparound cymbal set, and when you look at any of his pictures from behind the drum kit, you can actually see the note, the fundamental note of every symbol. So he's literally playing it like crotales or something like that. As far as he's playing melody, there's a reason. Okay, so I've talked about him, what was it, last week or the week before kind of thing, as a measure of continuity for the shows, you see. So what goes on is if you're doing that kind of thing, yes, go to the right side, When you're over here, left side. So what starts to happen is that some of the things you can do with the right or left crash is a couple of weeks ago I did the paradiddle pyramid. I'm going to put the triggers back in there. And it's a grand old exercise, practice pad exercise. George Lawrence Stone, Billy Gladstone, people like that. I mentioned them just the other week. And what a paradiddle pyramid is basically a single, double. I've done it before, I'm just recapping. And two triples. Back to double, back to single. So you get this. But in my book, Shameless Plugging, I say go to the cymbals. So you can have, I'll just do the two hi-hats this time, maybe. Then, improvise. You see? Now imagine me trying to do this. Oh, hello, Mr. Physiotherapist. Oh, you charge as much as how much I spent on that symbol over there. Ooh, why not? Pyramid. Do the pyramids. Oh, whoosh. Oh, where's Bruce Lee when you need him? Woo. There you go. Ah, there it is. So what happens is, that's one of the things. Now, the last time Terry Bozzio, I seem to be talking about him a little bit over the last couple of weeks. Just a coincidence, really, for the subject matter. But what goes on is that when you're actually doing things like this, Terry Bozzio, last time he came out was in 1998. And I got to meet him. He's been on the show. It was fantastic. It was a wonderful time when he came the time before in '96, because I brought along dear Alan Zavod, R.I.P., who were both Zappa alumni, but in different times, in different bands, and they just went like that. And it was golden TV kind of thing. It was just wonderful to be in that room and hear the stories and all that. But what it is that in the '98 show that he did, I was there with the camera, I filmed it, and I just looked and he said, he's doing a paradiddle pyramid. He's going, hoi, 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 and he was playing a melody. It was like doing this. Do-da-ba. Wax on, wax off, ha, woo! Where's Bruce Lee when you need him? Ah! Oi! Who needs gym work? There you go, there it is. Now one of the things, I'll get a little bit of a wriggle on because I want to finish on time and have it all in. Oh! The 25-minute half hour for community television, Melbourne, Australia. With a capital S, Australia, mate, Australia. So So what goes on is there's all that. So you've got a paradiddle pyramid, call it wax on, wax off. And that's one of the reasons why that I sort of have my right side symbols and my left side symbols, and nothing much in the middle. One of the reasons is quite practical for what I do for Channel 31, is that if I've got a lovely little symbol right in the middle, you wouldn't see my head. Which is probably a good thing for some people. But what it is very early on, paradiddles, mate, paradiddles, yes, H, all right, that kind of thing. And it was all that business. But on a practice pad. All that stuff. And then you learn about the pyramids, and there you go. Like that sort of stuff. Anyway, so there it is. You do feel like Bruce Lee, sort of thing. I saw a meme the other day about Bruce Lee. It was like he's a very smart, articulate man who read books, loved art, had a beautiful mind, but he spent his life learning how to punch people in the face. I thought that was funny. Anyway, we need a laugh. I hope that was funny. All right, so that's what it is. Now, don't forget, I was doing symbols, but you can also do. If I'm going to go back to the 4-piece drum kit business, that's what it is. Who remembers the L shape when you were coming up? If you're my age, when you're doing things like the Stinker Patient book by Ted Reed and the accents part, whenever you might be doing this. Triplets move. And the accents, you get told if it's a right hand accent, floor tom. Left hand. Someone needs a cowbell. I won't do the Hail Caesar joke. I did that the other week. So that's what you've got, you see. And so, pyramid, There it goes. All right. Now another thing, and I can go back to Mr. Buddy Rich again and Louis Belson. I always try and mention those two in the same breath. They were friends, Louis Belson was just an absolute gentleman. He's a gorgeous guy by every contemporary, one of his contemporaries, voice in the land, that kind of thing. He's just a gent. And you see it all the time. And now I'd like to talk about pivot points. So a pivot point is the point between two drums, whatever they might be, where you place your wrist in order to minimize the stroke. So what happens is that you can have a snare drum, but instead of going like that, you can pivot. You see, like that. Just a flick of the wrist, you see. So do you see I'm doing that? Okay, I'm not doing this or anything like that, but it's more like a V. Now, there's a little bit of a mathematical thing. You've got your stick, you're holding them, at the fulcrum. You find the contact point of the drum, and you put the tips of the sticks together. That's where you put your wrist. It should work out. Like put it up here. Then I'll turn them around. So you got that pivot there, you see? There I'm doing a paradiddle pyramid. Paradiddle diddle. Okay, right, left, left. Take them out again. Ooh, mix it up. I'll put the snares on and So you get... flicking, 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 whipping, 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 whipping. And then you pivot, pivot, pivot. Pivot points. So you can do... Bit rough. But anyway, there you go. All live, I hope. I hope you're enjoying it. There you go. I hope you're writing things down, you know. Hoi! There it is. I'll get a wriggle on now. I'm already there. Okay, so what have I done? Action and reaction. In. Look at what the other hand is doing, you see. You might have the great footballer kicking a big long goal, but think about his teammate who shepherded him, or handballed, you know, the little second efforts and third efforts and stuff. That's what I'm talking about, that bloke. So with the right hand in to let the left hand, right hand out a bit. So with that, it's not like a block. Here it is. All right. All right, I'm off. My name. It's Chris Quinlan. Hey. All right. Take care, everyone. Oh, stay safe. I hope the whole world stays safe. There you go. Love you all.
Quiet dignity and grace.
Oh, Mama!